morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning. It is time for Coffee Ann on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us this morning on Thursday, the April the 3rd. My name's Joe Callahan. Nice to have you along with us this morning at the Coffee Ann table, full Coffee Ann table. There's attorney Bob Lauder. Hi, Bob.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Good to have you with us. And Sue Tessie McKenzie, Blackstone Valley Call Times is here.
Good morning.
Hello there, Sue. And we're being joined by Jean Michon.
Good morning.
Head chief cook and bottle washer over there at New Beginnings, right here in the city of Woonsocket. And we asked Jean to come in because how exciting is this? Jean was she's surprised back in January, but you had to keep your mouth shut.
Yes.
She won an award called She won the Remarkable Woman Contest.
Yes. Through Next Star Media.
Through Next Star Media, which is Channel 12, ran this contest. And how many people were nominated?
There were 212 in southern New England.
And she won.
Jeez.
Yeah, believe me, I
won.
was shocked. I was completely shocked.
Fantastic.
Now, did someone nominate you?
Several people, apparently.
Oh, so they knew about the contest and
Yeah.
Channel 12 asked for nominations.
Right,
Okay.
and when they surprised me in January, they showed up at the meal site. They were very tricky. They called and said they had a donation and could they come on Thursday at 10:30? I said, sure. So they called when they got there, and I'm like, okay, we'll be down with the cart. So one of the women said, you're coming too, right? I said, yeah, sure. So I told my volunteer, I said, I got to go down and help you. So we went downstairs and they came running around. They had a white Bronco. They had the big check.
The big check, yeah.
Yeah, the one they don't let you keep. And they said they were from Channel 12, and they asked if I knew I had been nominated for the Remarkable Woman Contest, and I
Did
said,
you know?
I knew one.
Okay, so you knew you were nominated.
Right,
Okay,
but,
okay.
I'm thinking, I don't have a snowball's chance in, Rhode Island. So that they said that I had won, and I said, oh, this is awesome. And then they said, no, you won for the state. And I said, the whole state? They said, yes. I said, really? I said, they must have thought I was like, she's a little slow. So then they said, do you know what that means? I said, no. They said, you're going to California. And I said, what?
It's a nationwide contest.
Yes. Wow. Next Star has, I don't know how many stations, but wherever Next Star has a station, they had a contest and someone was nominated and someone won.
So you got a check for $1,000 for New Beginnings,
Yes.
right? Okay, so that part's good. But how much can you win if you win in California?
If I am named the most remarkable woman in the U.S. through Next Star Media, I can bring home $25,000 for New Beginnings.
How great would that be?
Great.
Huh?
And we're going to be on a couple of TV shows. We're going to do the whole shebang tour with the double-decker bus and
Oh, the tour, yeah.
yeah.
Now, how is the overall contest controlled? I mean, obviously, you were nominated here in the state.
Yes,
Then you go to California. Who votes at
I
that
believe it's the Next Star Media.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now it's in their hands.
Okay.
And nobody knows until we get there
Okay.
who's going to, and there's 125 of us going.
Gotcha.
So, did people get to vote on you, or was it all people at Channel 12?
No, they
Voted
nominated, and
Right.
I don't know what the criteria was.
Okay.
So, but one of my girlfriends, who I actually worked with hospice for 15 years, and I haven't worked for hospice since 2004. I guess her letter tipped the.
Tip the scales?
Yes.
For you? Wow.
Yeah, that's what they told me. They said that I received so many nominations, but this one letter from my friend, and she said, Barbara, I have like 5 friends named Barbara, and they said, you know Barbara? I said, yes.
Well, sure.
They must have thought I was like, oh Lord, are you sure we picked the right one? And then of course I cried. Everybody thinks I'm tough, because I have to be, but I do have a heart. So
Oh, of course you do, G. So that's great. And
When's the contest in California?
yeah, when's that?
I'm leaving on the 13th of April
Okay.
on the
So
red eye.
soon.
Going for a
Yes.
week
Very
or?
soon.
Yeah, well, it's actually 3 days, but
Oh, just okay.
we extended
Oh, okay.
because my husband and daughter are going with me.
Okay.
Now, you're the only one from Rhode Island.
Yes.
There's 120-something from...
From all, well,
That means
California.
some states threw in more than one.
Yes, because California
I was just
probably
gonna
has
say,
more
yeah.
more Next Star stations.
TV stations.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But she beat out for Rhode Island and,
Yeah, Southern New England.
Southeastern Mass and all that. So.
Yes.
So is there one for Mass? But obviously Channel 10 covers the...
I don't think,
know,
like
Fall
channel,
River,
like
Bedford,
channel
et cetera.
4, 5, and 7, I don't think they're
I
next
don't
star
think so either.
Right.
TV stations.
Yeah.
So.
So
I
it
don't think
depends where
so.
Nexstar is located.
Wow.
I'm just floored. I'm still. And then they asked me when I went in Tuesday. I was on the road show, which is awesome. The
Yeah.
road show is awesome. They asked me if I told people, and I said, "No. You made me sign a non-disclosure. You put the fear of God in me. I didn't want to lose my trip."
So she wins in January, can't tell anybody.
A non-disclosure agreement?
Yes.
Well, you know about
Whoa.
these things, Bob.
Yeah, but I
so,
thought that was just for politicians. and
No.
stuff like that.
No, so they asked me, "Did you tell all your friends?" I said, "No. You
No,
put
you
the
told me
fear of
not
God in me. You told me not to do
You
it."
said I can't.
Right.
But now you can.
Yeah. Now I can't. So now
You know,
it's
it's
like,
funny
yay.
when you talk about you couldn't say anything. I love when people come to you and say, "Okay, don't tell anybody, but, stop right there.
Yeah.
Stop right there.
Right.
How many other people did you say that to?"
Right.
Well, Channel 12 wanted to put on stories about Gene
Right.
and the other nominees throughout the last couple of months, I guess, and
Right.
say these are the people that are running or in the running.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll have the big announcement of who won, and here we go.
Now,
Gene.
when did they
So when
broadcast
does-
the big announcement?
That's what I was
It was
just
April
wondering.
1st.
Okay,
Okay.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was Tuesday on the road show.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why, because I was working that during
Right.
that time.
Yeah, and a lot of people were, so I was like, "You told me not to say nothing."
Right?
Could you have hinted at it?
Well,
Hey,
I
on April
actually-
1st, you may want to watch the TV.
Well, as I got closer, I said, "Just watch the road show next Tuesday." Why? Just watch
Oh,
it.
you'll see.
Just
No,
watch it.
it's
9
watch
a.m.
the road
Just
show.
watch
They're
it.
going to talk about all the nominees.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what
oh,
you
yeah,
see.
there you
Oh,
go.
no, I couldn't say that.
No.
You couldn't even say that?
Wow.
Wow.
So they showed up with a big check. They showed up with balloons. Anything else did
Yeah.
did Channel 12 bring along with them?
No, that was it.
That was it. Okay. Well, you must have been surprised when you went out there and saw all the balloons. And
Oh yeah,
stuff.
and I looked really good, you know. I grabbed this. I had this long duster and my Patriots hat, and my Patriots scarf, and
Well, it was
I'm
cold
like,
in January, so
and I
you're deer in the headlights, right?
yeah. And then when they said California, like I said, they must have thought, "Oh, she's a little slow."
So
And they're paying for the trip to California.
Yes, for me.
just for her, she's
okay.
her husband and her daughter, they gotta shell out the
Now,
cash.
how do you cash the big check when you take it into the bank?
I don't know. They wouldn't give it to me.
Oh,
I asked them. I said, "Can you give me the big check?" They said, "No,
No, we'll give you a real check. Have you given the real check yet?
no."
No.
oh.
Checks in the mail.
Of
Well,
course it
April 1st,
is.
so it's only the 3rd.
Right.
Well, yeah.
But wait a minute. If somebody on April 1st said, "I'm sending you $1,000,"
$1,000 check.
You
are you
gonna say,
going to
yeah, okay.
really?
Stop it. If somebody said that today, I'd still wonder.
So will it be when you're in California and with the other 124 contestants, basically? Will they announce it live on a TV program?
I'm not sure. I'm
Okay.
not sure.
Maybe
I
they'll
know
tape
that
it and show it
there's-
another
Yeah,
time?
there's
Okay.
several events that they have
That
us
you go
planned
to?
for. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll have to tape it because different time frames.
Well,
time
yeah.
zones.
Time zones.
Time zones. Okay. Wow. So, and you're going to meet your other contestants, and you can ask them what they do, and they'll
Right.
ask you what you do.
Well,
and
I
you'll
know
see.
there's a police officer who saved an NFL player's life, I guess.
Oh,
I
wow.
saw that, and I'm like,
Yeah. How do you
Okay.
compete? How
yeah.
am I
well,
competing
no,
with that?
and I said, I'm just going because they're going to give me a big plaque with a star on it, like the Hollywood Walk of Fame. They're paying for me to go get a plaque. I'm good.
Okay. Now, is it just one $25,000 prize, or is there a second and third?
There's $125,000, and then I think there's 3 or 4 $5,000 winners.
Okay. all
And
right.
they're going to send us home with swag, and
Oh, of course.
we're going to
Okay.
get the whole tour, and we're going to be on either 1 or 2 TV shows.
Wow.
So
Is this the first year that Nexstar Channel 12
no,
has
this
done
is the 5th year.
In a row? Okay. Wow. So, all right. Pretty cool, huh?
This is impressive.
It is so. It is
Well,
so
Gene does
impressive.
really such good work in the city.
Yeah.
With the meal bank that she does the food for
Mm-hmm.
people who are in need and gives the food for free. Yeah, that's amazing. Now, you were going to be moving to the old Parex. How's that coming along?
Well, we're processing.
Okay.
We're renovating. We're actually moving along quickly now because we have to be out of the church by July. So we're doing ceilings and floors and fencing and.
That must be a lot of work over
Oh
there.
yeah. Well, that's why when I leave the kitchen, I go there. or on my days off, I'm meeting contractors and making appointments with dealers for supplies, and not those kind of dealers.
Vendors, that's a better
Vendors, yes.
Sorry.
Vendors.
That's why they
okay.
have a different name.
Yeah.
Vendors.
That's right. And under the old regime, it was they were grandfathered in with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Now that
Once you start
Gene has taken
reno,
over,
you're done.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all
Once
about
we
the
bought the
window.
building, everything has
Everything
to come up
to
changed.
code.
Yep.
And
But that's
money,
okay.
money.
But that's all right. It's going to be up to code with the state, with the city,
Yep.
Department of Health. We won't
Everything.
have any worries. And we're looking forward to many, many wonderful things happening there.
Well, I got my fingers crossed for you, Gene, because $25K would
Oh,
certainly
yeah.
help you so much
Absolutely.
in your renovations over there.
Absolutely.
So the good vibes will be sent to you out there in California. I hope you have a wonderful trip. And is this be the first time you ever been to California?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
I've been I've swum in the Caribbean Ocean, the Great Lakes, the Atlantic Ocean, the Gulf of Mexico. So
Okay.
I'm going to swim in the Pacific Ocean.
All right. Good for you. Good for
And
you.
I'm going to enjoy the sunsets. I hear they're phenomenal.
They are
out there.
phenomenal.
So
When it sets over the ocean.
Yeah,
It's pretty
so,
cool. We
no.
don't get that. We get the
I don't want to
sunrise,
do. They're going to do the touristy things with us, but with my husband and daughter, I want to do the family things. And
Okay.
we're going to go to the Hollywood sign.
Gotta go see the Hollywood sign.
Yeah, we're going to
Okay.
go to the beach, which is 4.6 miles. I already planned it. And we're going to go to
You
Rodeo
always need
Drive.
to know how close the beach is. No matter
Yeah.
what, you have to.
Absolutely.
Rodeo Drive is pretty cool.
Yeah, my daughter-
Just to be on it. Not,
Right.
I was on it once. Never
I'm
went
sure
into
I
any
can't
shops.
afford anything in it,
just,
but-
just being on it and seeing all the amazing cars
Oh, my daughter.
that are there, it's pretty cool.
That's her bucket list. She wants to go down Rodeo Drive. I said, okie dokie.
Does she want to go into any of the shops?
Oh, I'm sure she'll go in and
Oh,
come right
of
back
course she
out.
does. Of course she does.
And how much is that purse?
Yes.
Well, thank you. Okay,
All right,
bye.
then. You want to trade your car in for a purse? Okie dokie, honey. You're good. You're good.
Universal Studio Tour? You gonna do that?
That's not on my list.
No?
No.
You want to see any kind of taping of any other, like a
Oh,
sitcom or any
my
show?
husband and daughter want to be on The Price is Right.
Well, great.
Do they have to register ahead of time?
Well,
is that how that works?
Channel 12 is trying to see if they can get us
Okay.
tickets to the. I said, you go there, I'll be at the beach.
Well, what I've always heard about The Price is Right is they have a good shot at it because they like to pick people far away from California.
Right.
So someone from Rhode Island, well, that's pretty far. And of course, you got to be exuberant and
And
jump
maybe
up
I
and
can
down.
play, if I go, I can play up the Remarkable Woman thing, and maybe they'll be
Oh,
like,
there you go. Maybe they
Yeah.
give you a T-shirt.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. So, all right, Price is Right, and they tape like 5 shows
right,
in a
and
row.
that's what they
so
said.
Maybe you get,
We have a
decent
good shot of, right,
of getting on. Well, this is all exciting. So you fly out when?
the 13th
And when do you come back?
the 17th.
Okay. And what's going to happen at New Beginnings during those 3 days?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have anyone Surf Safe certified, so
Okay,
I've
so
spoken
closed.
to my other agencies that we collaborate with, and they're aware that we're not going to be open.
Open those times. Well,
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you, Gene.
I
This
appreciate
is
it.
great. This is the remarkable woman in Southern New England, and she won.
Well does
Well deserved. So enjoy your time in California. California can be fun. It's not any place I'd want to live.
No.
Visiting is great.
Right, right.
And you go and you see what everything that's there, especially in Southern California, and then you leave.
Yes.
And it's fantastic.
Right.
It's always a great place to
I'm
visit.
sure I'll love coming back to Lincoln. The quietness and
Oh yeah, it's a big change being out there, and maybe you run into some kind of star.
maybe.
Do you have something?
I do.
Melissa Murray's got something for Gene Michon. So
So while you're waiting for your $1,000 check, you can take this $2,000 check.
Wow, thank you so much.
what's that from, Melissa?
This is a legislative grant that I give to Jean every year from as part of my
Okay.
one of my perks being a legislator. One of the few perks of being a legislator is I get to give out these grants to organizations
Deserving
that deserve
organization,
them.
yeah.
So just presented Jane with a $2,000 check from us, from the General Assembly.
Well, thank you so
We
much.
appreciate
Wow.
you.
Oh, well,
I
fantastic.
appreciate you. Thank
Well,
you.
Yeah, so
get that
you
into
can-
the bank soon.
Yeah. I know we're being cut left and right.
Wow. That's
No,
great.
congratulations and have
Thank
a
you.
great time. Mwah.
Thank you.
All right, Gene. I know you got to get to work, so thanks for joining us, and best of luck. We'll
She's
have
going to go to the bank
Yeah, she's
first.
gonna go to the bank first. We'll have you back after you get back from your trip in California and
Absolutely.
things settle down. We want to have you back on and see how your trip went, okay?
Thank you so much, everybody.
All right, more coffee
Congrats.
ends
Good
coming
luck
up.
to you.
So we ask you to please stick around and more. 766-1240.
We're both getting up to
The North Smithfield Emergency Management Agency is sponsoring a 9-week community emergency response team training class for Northern Rhode Island residents. The CERT class includes training on the psychology of disaster trauma, light search and rescue, emergency preparedness, fire safety, and basic first aid. The class is offered free of charge and will be held on Tuesday nights from 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Classes will start on April 8th and run through June 3rd at the Emergency Management Agency at 83 Green Street in North Smithfield. For further information, contact the EMA office at 767-2206 or contact Deputy Director Jay Levinson at 401-230-9327. Information is also available on our website, www.nsema.org.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
The new KFC Dunk It Bucket with juicy original recipe tenders, new mashed potato poppers, crispy fries, plus 3 sauces that fit right on top of the lid, so you can dunk anywhere. You can dunk at the game, dunk while security points to the no outside food sign, and dunk as 20,000 people watch you and your Dunk It Bucket get removed from the stadium. Dunk almost anywhere with the new $7 KFC Dunk It Bucket, or get the double Dunk It Bucket for $25. Prices and participation vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with RE/MAX Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first. And he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
ON Radio.
It's Coffee In on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callan here with Attorney Bob Water and Sue Tester McKenzie from the Blackstone Valley Call-In-Times. Of course, we say this kind of funny because the Blackstone Valley Call-In-Times is a sponsor of the Coffee In program right now. What's new with the papers, Sue?
Well,
in case you haven't heard.
Let me start by addressing the rumors.
Okay.
And where they started.
Okay.
We are now going to mail. Okay, instead of delivery, they will be mailed to your home.
If you're a subscriber.
If you're a subscriber,
Gotcha.
you will be mailed. Okay. And the reason for that is we've been getting far too many complaints, missed deliveries. We've had many, many problems trying to hire dependable people. Mm-hmm. You can't, call out sick just because you got a runny nose. We need dependable people in this type of business. Had trouble finding it.
Okay.
So we have since made an arrangement with the U.S. Postal Service to deliver via mail. Now, for those of you that get delivery, our trucks will be picking up, USPS will be picking up the papers 3-4 in the morning. Mm-hmm. They will then be bringing them back and distributed to the carriers that get delivery. And that holds true for any city or town that you live in. Mm-hmm. You will then get your paper the same day. Are there going to be glitches? Absolutely.
There's always growing
Absolutely.
pains, yeah.
There will be growing pains. There will be glitches. By all means, give me a call, 487-4136. But I do want to address how the rumor started. After that decision was made, a carrier called a local radio station and said that we were closing on April 5th.
Wow.
I got wind of that over the weekend. Then it ended up on Facebook. I addressed it with my boss. I was dealing with all of this all weekend. And addressed it with my boss, told her what was going on. She asked me to make a statement, which I did. I made a statement. It's under the Woonsocket past and present that says to call. Pretty self-explanatory. And the individual that started the rumor has since called and apologized on the radio. Again, the same format that he put this news out there. He apologized, specifically named me, which I greatly appreciated, and my coworker Christina, stating, they're good people. I shouldn't have done that. I jumped the gun. So for that, I am grateful that he apologized, and never knew him that would do something like this. So the fact that he manned up, I'll put it that way, meant the world to me. So we are not closing. Instead of delivery at any given time where you got to go out and find a paper on occasion, you will not have to do that. It will be in your mail. Again, there will be glitches. Call my cell, 487-4136.
All right. First thing right off the bat is obviously if you're used to getting your newspaper in the morning, it's not going to come as early as it used to. It's just going to come whenever your mail's delivered.
That will be an issue, I'm sure, with many people, including yourself.
Now, what about deliveries to like little general stores or CVS pharmacy? When will they get the papers?
That is another good question that I did not ask.
Okay.
I'm asking questions as I'm getting them, so that will be the next thing that I will send out. Obviously, it won't be USPS there that's going to bring it to Little General. They're going to take what goes back there. So that is a very good question. I better ask carefully, otherwise I will be picking up those papers in Auburn at 4 in the morning and delivering them to local stores. But that's a very good question that I will address.
It's a lovely drive to Auburn.
Hey, I don't have a problem with
hour or so.
146 to 290.
It's lovely up there.
Right.
All right. Well, I think that addresses everything. Unless Bob, did you have a question
I have two
about
comments.
the
One
new
is
situation here with
I
the
live
call?
in the north end of Woonsocket, and the people who deliver our papers from the Woonsocket Call are really great. We've never had a problem in receiving any of them.
Okay.
I don't recall their names, but they're really special. And back in the old days, when my dad was still alive, I remember he used to get the Wall Street Journal, and that came through the mail as well. And it was usually on the same day that it was dated. So I don't.
That's crazy.
I don't see
That's
a big problem.
An issue.
Right.
Okay. All right. And from what I think I've got this right, the people that did deliver the newspapers in their vehicles in the morning, they're also delivering other papers as well.
Yes.
A competition. So they are still going to keep doing that. Okay.
I believe so. I don't know. I know that, people tend to get a little surprised that, oh my God, the call's not being printed in the city anymore. Well, that changed many years ago because a printing part broke. And to replace it was stupid money, $50,000 or something stupid. So this has happened with many newspapers. I'm going to name competition. If Alibreeze doesn't print their paper, somebody else does.
Not here in the Blackstone
Valley.
It
Somebody else does. And those companies can afford to maintain their equipment because they're printing for so many people.
Papers.
And their equipment may be much newer than 1892. So, then, having said that, it's more updated, better equipment, and so on. So it's nothing new for other companies to print papers.
So let me ask you this question, and I don't know if you'll have the answer for it, but I wonder if other subscribers will be thinking about this. Does this mean our cost for subscribing to the call is going to go up because the Postal Service will be delivering it, and they're going to want to make money?
No, because I'm saying no. Do I know the 100% answer? I'm just going to stop with this. I was completely blindsided by all
this?
of this
Okay.
myself. So this isn't something I knew that, that didn't say anything. Don't, that whole, don't say anything. Nope, stop right there.
Just sign a non-disclosure agreement like Gene?
Right. I did not know that this was happening. So for you to ask me these questions, I don't know, and I will never make up an answer. But I don't believe so, because if you recall the last couple of times I was here, people were questioning, will the paper cost be less because Monday's edition? Well, no, that one I knew, because that's why we eliminated Monday edition. So did they have this plan in place? I do not know, but that may play a factor in the mailing portion of this. This didn't happen overnight with the company.
Right.
I mean, it had to be in the works.
So home delivery, the last home delivery will be this Saturday.
Yes.
And delivery by postal carrier starts Tuesday.
Tuesday.
This coming Tuesday. Okay. I don't envy you and Christina.
On Tuesday.
On Tuesday. Or all next week, because the phone calls that will be coming
Yes.
are people that didn't get the news. Where is it? Why is it in my mailbox now? And like that. So yeah.
I
a
am
lot of
going
that's
to.
coming.
I'm going to send an email to the company. Sorry, I shouldn't have to do this, but I'm gonna email them and say, listen, it was brought to my attention that you need to let people know. Put it in the paper. Put it on the front page.
It should be on the front page.
Put it on the front page.
Yeah.
Get it going.
Yeah.
Because you're right.
Starting tomorrow, Friday and Saturday.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Say I told them to do this.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
blame you.
So that's what's going on with the Blackstone Valley Call and Times from the horse's mouth, right from Sue Tessier McKenzie. So thanks, Sue.
No, this is not for Sue.
Oh, it's not.
No, this is, last week
Bob's
when
gonna-
Bill Murray was
Bob's
on
got a
here
present.
and to tell the truth with you and sort of talking about various issues in sports, I saw this and I thought of you at the time.
Is this the Blackstone Valley Call and Times comics from the weekend?
I would not guess.
Bob is well. Did you wrap this or did you?
Oh,
wrap this?
absolutely, man. You can tell my hand was in all of this.
I think he's being sarcastic, Sue.
I think so too.
So Bob has passed along a book to me, and it's called 100 Reasons to Love the Red Sox and 10 Reasons to Hate the Yankees. Only 10?
Man,
A book by David Green. Well, thanks, Bob. This is great. Baseball isn't a life and death matter, but the Red Sox are. That's Mike Barnacle from the Boston Globe. And to Assange, is that how you say it? Assange, thanks.
I looked
Your
it up.
sorrow after one of Bill Murray's reality checks. Best wishes, Bob Lauder. He signed it for me, so thanks, Bob. Ted Williams, right there, right off the bat. One of the reasons to love Ted Williams. Who?
Oh, I do know Ted Williams.
Good. Jeez, you have to slap you around there. But it's a bunch of different players and things like that. So that's really, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's so great. I love that. All right, so moving on. And by the way, they won last night.
Great. Who are they playing?
The Baltimore Orioles.
Okay.
So
I've actually seen a Baltimore Orioles game.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
I was down in Maryland.
Baltimore?
In
Wow.
Baltimore. At
Camden Yards.
Camden Yards,
Wow.
yes.
Well, that's one up on me, Bob. I haven't never been there.
No, I was there because my sister-in-law had two kids. She actually has five, but she had two sons who were close in age and were playing on their own Little League team, and they were very good. And they had the Little League play before a regular Baltimore Orioles
okay.
game. So we went to see the
Big
Little
thrill
League.
for the kids.
Oh, yeah, it was great. And then we stayed around for the game.
All right, very good.
I think that's the only complete baseball game I have ever sat through.
All right, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee and Program. Comments and questions we called in, especially if you got questions about the new delivery system for the Blackstone Valley Call and Time. Sue's here. She could answer the questions as best she can. 766-1240 is the number to call. This portion of Coffee has been sponsored by the Blackstone Valley Call and Times.
You've heard
This
it
is my-
before.
this
The
is my-
world is getting smaller. Places you had to travel to years ago now seem right next door. It's no surprise, then, that all the communities of the Blackstone Valley have so much in common these days that we share common interests. Keeping up with this trend, the Blackstone Valley's two daily newspapers, The Call and The Times, have joined forces to cover the entire valley in one convenient newspaper. The Blackstone Valley's Call and Times, a paper for the entire valley. At your local store, honor box, or home delivery, 767-8522.
Today, cloudy skies, rain is possible throughout the day. High temperature will be near 63. Southwest wind 11 to 16 miles per hour. Wind gust as high as 32 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy skies with just a slight chance of rain. Low temperature around 52. Southwest wind 6 to 10 miles per hour. Wind gust as high as 21 miles per hour. Friday's weather mostly cloudy. High near 65. Friday night, mostly cloudy. Low around 40. Saturday, mostly cloudy. Showers are likely. High near 48. Sunday, mostly cloudy and a 50% chance of showers. High near 64. Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we have cloudy skies, a little light rain, and temperature reading of 43 degrees. Does it feel like 43 out there, Sue?
Yes.
And a nice cold rain, huh?
Yes.
That's always lovely. So this weather forecast also brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
Are you looking for solutions to meet your business banking needs? At Milford Federal, the longest-standing community bank in the area, they offer customized solutions for commercial lending, cash management, online banking, and payment processing services. Their business banking team is committed to the growth and success of your business with local decision-making and a relationship-based approach. Let Milford Federal be your banking partner. Visit them at milfordfederal.com today. Milford Federal Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, and MLS number 465956.
And it's Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Sue Tester and McKenzie from the Blackstone Valley Call and Times and attorney Bob Lauder. And Bob, time for a first message from your law office.
Thank you. Good morning. This is attorney Bob Lauder. As you may recall, last week I diverted into the distant past to talk about estate planning. This morning, and that was when I was driving my good friend Diana crazy with issues about my sanity. This morning, I'd like to talk with you about the impact of marriage on one's estate plans. Section 3359 of the General Laws of the State of Rhode Island provides a pretty draconian set of laws. It states, the marriage of a person shall act as a revocation of a will made by him or her previous to the marriage, unless it appears from the will that it was made in contemplation thereof. In the absence of a last will and testament, upon the death of one of the parties, the real estate descends to a life estate in the living spouse plus a $150,000 interest in the remaining fee of the real estate, and the balance passes to the children of the deceased. And if the deceased died without children, then that one half goes to the heirs at law of the deceased. If the statutory distribution may not be what the deceased intended. Consequently, I strongly suggest that any individual who has created a last will and testament and thereafter married consult with an attorney to create a valid last will and testament which reflects the present testamentary desires, and that any individual who has not created a last will and testament consult with an attorney upon all issues. If you think my office may be assistant to you in legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right there, Bob. Thank you very much. Well, we got a couple of notes called in, 766-1240. You can call one in as well. And we got a call from the person, our carrier. that delivers the paper here. And they called and they said that they love you, Sue. And as well as you, them being the carrier, they were blindsided on
Yes,
this information,
yes.
just like you. No customers blame you, Sue, nor do they, or should they. It's just sad that this is an end of an era. Do you see it as an end of an era?
Absolutely, yeah. When I was young, of course, end of an era, what changes an era with regard to the newspaper delivery has been an ongoing cycle. Unfortunately, we can no longer have kids delivering paper, knocking on the door.
Collecting money, too.
It just...
Those days are done.
Right. So that, to me, was a huge end of an era. I think so many kids, including myself, that was their job. That's where they first, got their money to buy something they wanted.
You ever do that, Bob?
No, but I helped the kid down the street who did that. I remember going up to the third floor of apartment houses and collecting the money.
Really?
Yeah. And the newspaper would drop them off at the end of the street. They would be big bundles.
Big bundles, yes.
Yep. And then my friend had these sacks on the back of his bike,
Yep.
so he could put half the papers in one, half the papers in the other. Yeah.
All right, you do remember it. Okay.
Yeah.
And the carrier says, hopefully the paper will do their best to inform the customers. So.
And that is, I just sent an email out to that effect, because that's been a big problem for us. Then people are contacting us, and it's like, that is out of my control.
Yeah.
I don't dictate what goes in the paper.
Do they ever ask you, why isn't this information in the paper that's being delivered to my house?
Oh, absolutely.
What they're changing.
Yes, that is probably the biggest question we get.
All right.
Again, we have a lot of papers in the southern part of the state, and I don't make excuses for people. I don't lie. I don't make up stuff, and so I'm not making excuses. But we do have a lot of papers, and there have been a lot of changes within the organization with regard to management, and if we can do this job without this manager, then why should we spend that kind of money? So yeah, everybody's spread a little thin.
All right. The other note that came in talking about the book that Bob has given me, and of course the name of the book is 101 Reasons to Love the Red Sox and 10 Reasons to Hate the Yankees. They write 10 reasons to hate the Yankees. There's really only one reason. They are the Yankees. There you go. That's all you need.
Right.
You don't really need a reason. It's just that's who they are. So you automatically hate them.
Oh, one thing I forgot to do was thank that caller, the carrier.
All right. Very good.
So thank you.
Yep. Did we mention on the air it's Sue's birthday? Happy birthday, Sue.
Thank you. Thank you.
Birthday. All right. Things going on.
Thank you also not for asking about if I remember Gutenberg making the press. It's bad enough to be asked about.
Wow.
Delivering
Bob knows
door
all
to
that
door.
stuff.
All right. We had a car crash in Woonsocket on Wednesday night. Happened on Cranston Street and Monty Avenue. Driver reportedly told police a mechanical failure led to the car crash.
I'm not familiar where Cranston Street and Monty Avenue are.
But they didn't say what the
Mechanical failure
What
was?
the-
Like brakes failed or something?
sure not operator error.
Doesn't say. 3 victims were injured. They were all taken to hospitals. Non-life-threatening injuries. Police continue to investigate this crash. All right. Now I wanted to ask Bob this story, this situation, and it's a trial that is starting in Rhode Island. Okay.
Not the Karen Reed trial.
No, we'll get to that later.
Okay.
But it's the guy. He's the former high school basketball coach in North Smithfield. Sorry, North Kingstown. Gotta get that right.
You better get that one
Yeah,
right.
North Kingstown, and he's accused of doing these fat tests on boys in the locker room. Well, in his office, which is right off the locker room in the high school, and they're accusing him of sexual assault and things like that. Now, his lawyer hasn't decided yet, but he's thinking of putting the coach on the stand in his own defense. As a lawyer, Bob, good move, not a good move? What do you think?
It's based on several things. One thing would be, how credible do you think your witness is going to be?
There's actually several, they say. So I don't know how many several, though.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if they're talking about the defendant himself, then I think the lawyer is probably looking at several things. One is the nature of the crime and how much the prosecution has been able to bring in as evidence that is outside the realm of what the coach actually said or did or said. And the second would be, how credible is this person going to be when they're actually on the stand? Because they're going to have to undergo the rigors of the cross-examination by the prosecution. And if you have a defendant who's not good at that, gets nervous and can't talk and things like that, you may feel it's not going to be appropriate to put him on the stand because he may actually damage his own case.
Okay.
Now, I was not a high school athlete, as you probably figured out.
But you took phys ed in school, didn't you?
And I'm not familiar with any person ever doing these kind of fat tests back in the days when I was going to Woonsocket High School. So it's a little bit unusual right from the start.
According to the prosecutors, it went out for a while. I mean, a number of years, and there's many boys, some are men now, that have been involved. So there's going to be a string of people coming to testify against him. So you might just keep track on it, and just a little bit of an interest.
Have they ever stated what qualifies as a fat test, if I'm saying that correctly? In other words, you can take your fingers, and pinch the side to see if you have X. If you can pinch X, then you need to lose a little bit of weight, or if you know what I mean. With this,
see, I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, right. I'm curious myself.
I don't know if he was bringing in the guys that were in shape, let's say, the real, athletes,
right,
to look at them and say, okay, maybe you should lose 2 or 3 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And or maybe they brought in, okay, you're starting to lean more towards the fat side. Do a little more exercising. I don't know what his goal was on these tests.
Yeah,
because
or
was it something a little more nefarious?
But did they just title it fat test? I don't know.
Maybe that's what he was calling it. As he was calling the boys in who were not wearing anything or just wearing their underwear. And and as a kid in the high school, you probably think, oh, this must be normal. This must happen at other schools. You go in for your quote unquote fat test. I mean, how do you know this isn't a normal thing?
I mean, just the term is so derogatory. That's what I think I'm having a problem with. It's like, who titled it?
All right, we got a note called in 766-1240. Back to the newspaper, and I'm glad. Well, not glad it was called in. Always nice to get notes, but I'm glad. I like this question because I want you to. It looks like another rumor may be starting, and I want you to address it here. And the question is, why was the Woonsocket office closed?
Oh, very easy answer. So I'm a little embarrassed to say one thing. My family, which I talk to regularly, my sister was at the old call office. My sister, over a year after we closed the old call office, trying to pay her subscription. So I'm embarrassed by that. And again, I apologize to you, Denise, if you're listening. As far as the other office, without giving too much information, I will say that one of the co-worker that is always in the office, which does, classifieds, etc., has been hit with a number of things. Medical, transportation-wise, her car even had the windshield broken, not the windshield, I'm sorry, the back window broken in the parking lot at the office. Now, the person asking about why is the office closed, I hope you're referencing the 154 Main Street and not the old building across from City Hall. So she hasn't been able to get to work between the medical issue she's facing right now and her transportation. We're hoping that things iron out, level out, and she gets her car back and is in the office on Monday. Okay. That's what we're hoping. So I put my phone number as well as her phone number in the window because even though the building is closed, we are both working. I work on the road, so I'm never in there. Some of our writers, they don't get in until later in the day, which doesn't help most of our customers because they're questioning us in the morning. So hopefully that will level out. But again, I apologize for that convenience. And if there's anything I can do to help you, call my cell phone at 487-4136.
All right there, Sue. Very good. All right, up in Dedham, the Karen Reed trial. Retrial, I keep saying. I got to get that right. So far, 7 jurors have been seated. I think they're going for 16.
Yeah, they had
14 or 16.
I guess they saw 90 people and only had 2.
They seated 2. And so yesterday they picked another 7. I think it's 4 guys and 3 women. Unless
See,
I got that backwards, but that's what the
now
it's
when
almost 50-50 right
with
now.
the choosing of the jury, and you can answer this. See, I feel I would make a good juror because while I've heard of the case, I'm not following it. Nor I don't want to use the word I don't care because that sounds, inconsiderate, but I'm not following it. I haven't made a decision as to who did what.
So you haven't formed an opinion.
I have not formed an opinion.
Okay.
Whereas many of those people did, and
Yeah.
they stated that, and that's why they couldn't be on a jury.
Bob, how many times do lawyers pass out questionnaires to jurors? Because this happened here. It's like a page or almost 2 pages of questions that they want all the jurors to fill out. How often is that done with trials?
I have not seen that done very often, but I think the reason they do it is because rather than go through the normal voir dire, which is where a juror is selected from a pool, goes up, sits in the jury box, the lawyers have the opportunity to ask them questions, and that can take some period of time. They may have thought that if we write out the questions in advance, and if a juror says, I have an opinion upon this case, then we can have them eliminated right at the start and not have to go through the time that's involved in a personal voir dire of the jurors.
Okay. They mentioned, on the first day trying to seat a jury, they had 90 people. 78 of them said, I've already formed an opinion on this. Does that mean they're automatically disqualified?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, now I did hear the seating of the juror could take weeks with an S. Well, they're already up to 7, so they're halfway there, basically. Do you think it's going to take another... Will it be less time to seat this jury? Maybe a week and a half?
I don't know how long they've been at work in trying to seat the jury right now.
It's been 2 days.
Okay, then if they still have to seat another
7, let's say.
8, then they're going to be probably about the same amount of time. Yes.
Okay, so maybe sometime by the end of next week.
Could be.
Maybe
Yes.
they have the jury and they're ready to go. Okay, so that's basically all that's new in the Karen Reed trial. We're up to 7 jurors right now. All right, Bob, time for your second message from your law office, and then we'll take a break on the Coffee and program.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. This is just to prove that I wasn't completely asleep during Miss Connor's Latin class in Woonsocket Junior High School back in 1962, although I wasn't a very good student. I'd like to use a Latin phrase from law to illustrate a point. The phrase is res judicata, and it means that once a judicial decision has been made and all appeals thereof have been satisfied, the moving party does not have the right to relitigate the issue again. A recent case decided by the Rhode Island Supreme Court on April 1st of this year illustrates this point. The case is known as Thornton versus the State of Rhode Island. In 1997, 23 years ago, Thornton was convicted on multiple charges, which included assault with a dangerous weapon, assault resulting in serious bodily injury, and kidnapping, and he was sentenced to consecutive terms for each conviction. He filed an appeal. In 2002, the Supreme Court held the conviction and the sentence. Thereafter, he filed 3 more unsuccessful appeals for post-conviction relief. He lost all of those as well. Then Thornton filed a 4th petition. He argued that in his original trial, the justice had failed to properly instruct the jury upon the definition of serious bodily injury and criminal proceedings. This time, the trial justice in the Superior Court agreed with Thornton, citing an interest of justice, and quashed his prior convictions. The state of Rhode Island took an appeal to the state Supreme Court. The state argued that Section 10-9.1-8 of the general laws of the state precluded the relitigation of the issues that would have been raised in the prior proceedings, and that since no newly discovered evidence had been presented, the issue on appeal had already been adjudicated in the 3 prior appeals. The Supreme Court agreed with the state and found that there was no compelling evidence to apply an interest of justice finding in the initial proceedings, and it didn't expect that appeals after that first appeal will, in the absence of newly discovered evidence, result in a conviction, an overturn of the conviction. Of course, Ms. Connors would never have known about any of this in junior high school, but it still has nice to know that I can recognize res judicata as having been the basis in Latin. If you think my office may be assisting you in this or other legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, Bob, thanks. And the Coffee and program will continue. Please stay tuned.
Checking the entertainment at Chan's on Main Street in Woonsocket. Tomorrow night, Friday night the 4th, it's Blue F.O.'s at Chan's, led by harp ace Jimmy Killer Kane, featuring Jeff Davis on the lead vocals. Blue F.O.'s is 15 in advance and 20 at the door. Then, Saturday night, it's the 5th of April, and it's Traveler, a Chris Stapleton experience. You'll enjoy that, featuring some of the area's best A-list musicians. 25 in advance, 30 at the door, Saturday night at Chan's Traveler. And, oh, they got great food, too, at Chan's, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Bring spring to your door with Target Circle 360. Get all you need for Easter hosting, spring get-togethers, and more with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. From Easter basket goodies to fresh florals, getting everything the same day is easy. Open the Target app and bring the magic of the season to your door with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. Visit Target.com/circle or the Target app for more details. Subscription required. Same-day delivery is subject to terms. Applies to orders over $35.
Join the Alzheimer's Association Rhode Island chapter for our free Caregivers Journey and Research Conference, Thursday, April 17th at the Crown Plaza in Warwick. Numerous breakout sessions, opportunities to connect with statewide resources, and professional respite care will be provided. Registration is required. Register today online at alz.org/RI. That's alz.org/RI.
Coffee in on ON. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder and Sue Tessier-McKenzie. And another question for Bob. Another legal question coming your way.
Good.
Because there's a story out of Everett, Massachusetts, all right? 41-year-old man has been arrested in connection with a racially motivated road rage attack in that town. Police say John McNeil followed the victim to his Everett home after a minor traffic dispute. This happened on March 16th. McNeil allegedly got out of his vehicle and shouted racial slurs at the victim, then started punching him in the face while continuing to yell the slurs. Okay? McNeil reportedly fled after the incident, but was identified during the investigation and is now charged with assault and battery to intimidate based on race. So is that another charge now? We got the assault and battery just for punching him, but are you arrested now because... not arrested, but charged with something else because you're yelling racial slurs now?
Depends on the law of the Commonwealth, but if that's the law of the Commonwealth, then yes.
Okay.
But in these in these road rage incidents,
yeah,
why don't people just write down the license plate of the car that they feel has committed the...
aired them? Yeah.
and report it that way, and the police can track them down? I mean, tracking somebody down to their home, getting out of your car, trying to beat them up, you've got to be really...
Yeah.
out of control.
Yeah. You'd have to talk to a psychologist about it who get the real reason. But just what I've heard and read is your car becomes an extension of you.
Okay.
So since you've hit my car, you're really hitting me because people feel so possessed of their car.
Well, you take it personal. That's how I reference things.
Right.
I take things personal.
So you have to get back at them. I don't know. Writing down the license plate is a great idea.
That's what I would do.
If you're following them to their house.
No,
and many cars have dash cameras that
I would have
take
driven
down
to the police
plate as
station.
well.
If that were the case for me, I would have driven to the police station. There was one incident that this person could have ripped me a new one.
Yeah.
Okay? I inadvertently, with everything going on, had just gotten bad news and went through a red light. And I'll not forget that moment. It was in Pawtucket, and the car that was coming this way
Guess they saw you.
got on the side of me, but she took one look at my face,
Said, "Ooh, something's going on."
She was wonderful.
Wow.
I mean, talk about the road rage. She just looked at me, and I looked at her, and I just was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And she was like,
Okay.
nobody got hurt.
No one hit.
Nobody got hurt.
No accident. Okay, good.
Nothing happened. But if more people did that, she quickly,
Yeah.
it didn't, most people would not have looked at me and reflected on this problem here, something's going on, whatever. And she did immediately. So if more people would recognize certain things, but they don't. They think they were wronged just because, no, I'm entitled to get in front of you at this intersection. And they don't look at it that way.
Right.
Their entitlement.
All right, let's. This is a good story. So let's congratulations. Let's hear it for the TSA on the ball out there in Provo, Utah. All right.
What happened?
Teenagers accused of trying to board a flight at that airport with a fake ID. Sebastian River Green was arrested Monday after showing a forged driver's license to the TSA officials, that's
right.
what you do. And a TV station out there reports agents then called the police, who came and found him. And that's when that teenager, Green, reportedly tried to give them his real ID. And he admitted he bought the fake one because he wanted, wherever he was going, he wanted to purchase alcohol. Well, maybe he wanted to buy a drink at the airport. I don't know.
Right.
But I wonder if he made a mistake.
He
and said,
should have used
his real ID to get through TSA and then use the fake one. Maybe just grabbed the wrong one.
Maybe.
Now, on my last trip back from Florida,
Yeah.
when you went through TSA, they did screenings, facial recognition screenings.
Some do and some don't.
Okay.
Yeah. Step in front of the camera, right?
Right.
Yeah. I've had that done too.
And I don't recall showing them my driver's license at that point.
Yeah. It's different in every, and they do that on purpose. I've found that out. Dave Dad explained that to me, and then someone else explained it to me. It's to keep the terrorists off guard. If everything's uniform, they'll figure out a way to get around it. But if it's different everywhere you go, what are they going to do? So
what's remarkable is that out of the vast number of people that they use the facial recognition on, apparently there's not that many that are actually misidentified.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to believe that there are millions and millions of people in the country, and all of us in some way do not look alike.
Yeah. All right. In case you're wondering, today's National Burrito Day.
Wow, yeah.
So there you go.
Are you going to have any?
No, I don't like burritos.
Oh.
It was first introduced to the United States back in the 1930s, courtesy of the El Cholo Spanish Cafe in Los Angeles.
Wonder if that's still in existence.
I wonder. So I don't know. But just in case you're not a big fan of burritos, today is also National Chocolate Mousse Day.
Oh, yeah. Like there's a choice
there we go.
I say do both.
Do both.
Live
well,
a little.
They say after you have your
Okay.
burrito, have some chocolate mousse
Absolutely.
for dessert, and then so there you go. I don't know if you heard about this, but there's this family in Washington D.C. And they're out there looking at the cherry blossoms because they were in bloom last week, and they're taking photos and like that, and they're taking photos near the tidal basin. I've never been to D.C., so I don't know where that is.
Yeah, I know
That's
exactly
the
what
water
you're
that you see when
talking
you're close to the
Washington Monument?
No, the Jefferson Memorial.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So they're taking pictures along the tidal basin when who strolls in the background? Here comes Barack Obama.
All right.
Oh, wow.
And he's in their photos.
Fantastic.
What do you got, Sue?
I have not had the opportunity last night to enlarge this photo. I am not seeing Barack. I'm seeing Biden, but I'm saying, what is that? I'm going to show you the image because there is a. Hold on, this must be the one. Just waiting for it to open so I can show it to you. All right.
Sue always does this research on her phone.
He didn't.
Yeah, I'm still not seeing it.
Right.
I don't care what anybody says. I'm not seeing it.
What's in what picture are you showing to Bob?
He's showing a picture
The one
in
that was all
profile
over the
of a
news.
guy wearing. Yeah,
I think he looks like Barack.
I think it does look like President
little bit.
Obama. Yeah.
The hat kind of throws you
seeing
off.
it.
You're not seeing it? Okay.
Not seeing it.
Well,
Not seeing it.
He's in the background. There was a photographer taking pictures of a couple of kids, and they said, no, that's Barack in the background. And then the former president caught wind of what happened, And he reshared the post on Instagram. He wrote to Preston and Belle, those are the two kids. I hope you enjoyed Peak Bloom. My bad for stepping into the shot. Sometimes you just don't see the photographer.
Yeah, it was a professional photographer doing it.
How very kind.
Oops.
Yes.
Yeah, very kind of him. And I always try to, especially when you're out at some place that's a vacation spot, like a Disney World, and I always looking around to see who's taking pictures. And wait, okay, snap your shot. Now I'll keep walking.
I do the same
try
thing.
to do that, but you're not always successful.
But if you try to do it, sometimes you're only going to notice it once you're in front of it. And I'm sorry, keep walking. I do it all the time.
Yeah, and then if you do wait, a lot of times I get thanked by the photographer.
Yep.
Thanks for waiting. So so we could get the shot. You're
Absolutely.
welcome. All right, that'll do it for the show for today. Thank you very much for listening in. Appreciate it as always. Our thanks to Jean Michon, who came in, the Remarkable Woman award that she won. Congratulations to her once again, and best of luck when she flies out to California and this nationwide contest, so she can win $25,000 for New Beginnings. That would be great. Bob Lauder, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, and Sue, thanks for being here as well. Sue Tessier-McKenzie.
Thank you, and have a good rest of the week.
All right, I'm Joe Callahan. Once again, Gary Smith will not be in. Do you remember will not be on? Gary can't make it in today. We're hoping for tomorrow for Gary Smith's, but enjoy the music.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.